on 1480 WHBC and Mix 94.1.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Spotlight on News Talk 1480 WHBC. It is a Wednesday morning, and if you are watching us on Facebook Live, then you know that, and also you can check us out on our YouTube channel. We are live there right now as well, but of course also on 1480 WHBC. So we appreciate everyone who has joined us this morning. This morning, we're going to talk about something that's pretty important for just about everybody, because at one point or another, we all have to think about this, and it's a good time to kind of sit back this morning, get your coffee, and be thinking about some of the things that we're going to be chatting about with Tim Moore, with Bixler Moore Estate Planning. Good morning, Tim. How are you?
Good morning, Pam. Thank you for having me. I'm doing wonderful today.
Sure. We're glad to have you on, because I know you are filled with a wealth of information and things that maybe some people, don't really think about all the time, but really definitely need to. Before we start talking about the different services and things like that, tell us a little bit about yourself so we can kind of get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Stark County, grew up over in the Tuslaw area. All my family's in Tuslaw and Dalton. After school, came back here and joined my father's firm. I live over here in Jackson Township with my beautiful wife, who's a trial lawyer here in town, and we're raising our amazing little 11-year-old. So
your 11-year-old probably would not like you to call her little. She's grown up now, right?
Well, faster and faster every day. It's a little terrifying. We started middle school last week.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? That's kind of a little bit of a segue, because, time flies, and here we are. There are a lot of different things. Talk about Bixler Moore and what you guys offer.
Yeah, our firm was founded in 1979, and it was founded by a gentleman named Bruce Bixler and my father, Edgar Moore. And Bruce was an incredible guy. I remember when I was a kid, he was like 6'5", and he just reminded me of Abraham Lincoln, a larger than life character. He had an enormous practice in the Louisville area, where we still have an office, and also in Canton. The two of them started the firm. It was a spinoff of a larger firm, and my father took it over in 1987. And it's a little bit of a sad story. Attorney Bixler got Alzheimer's at a very early age, and he was forced to retire at the age of 60.
Wow, that is early.
Yeah, within a couple of years, he was in a long-term care facility, and that started our firm's journey into understanding and helping families work through the long-term care and estate planning process. So we're blessed to serve this community with our firm. We have 3 lawyers and about a dozen staff, and we get to take care of our 7,500 households here in Stark County that we represent.
Wow, that's great. So what's the first step for someone out there listening, thinking, okay, well, what do I need to do? How do I go about this?
Yeah. So the first thing is to think about the people that you love, right? Who are the people that you care about, that you trust, and what do we need to do to make sure that they are protected and that they are empowered to be able to help us as we age? So unless someone has people who they can rely on, this kind of planning becomes very difficult. So the conversation starts, far before you ever walk into an attorney's office. Most people think to themselves, "Oh, I need a will," right? And so they contact a lawyer and they say they need a will, and that really doesn't cover, the full picture of what we do. Because wills do, they do not avoid probate, right? They subject you to the oversight of the probate court. And so when we start thinking about this, we like to think of it as estate planning, not documents, right? It's about the things that you value. Are you going to have enough money to live on? What happens if we face long-term care? What if I can't make decisions for myself? Right. And the process of estate planning is to sift through those issues and think through them, and then ultimately to contact someone who's experienced in estate planning and elder law who can assess with those matters.
Yeah, because obviously you want to do it before it's too late, before you can't make those decisions for yourself.
Correct. Yeah, it's very tragic when people come in here and they say, "Oh, my father can no longer make his decisions," and actually, often it is women who become the ones who can't make their decisions. The diseases of dementia and Alzheimer's affect women 2 to 1 in our community, and if they haven't planned ahead, well, now we don't have any documentation of what wishes you want followed out, your healthcare wishes, your financial wishes. It doesn't nominate who can help, and it also doesn't say what kind of care you want and what kind of services you might need.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that I've had these discussions with, they'll say, "Oh, well, I don't have anything. I don't have anything of value," or "It doesn't really matter. They know what to do." Those kinds of things. I bet you hear that all the time.
Yeah, we do, and it's very tragic when someone comes in to see me and they say, my father can't take care of himself. My mother can't take care of herself. Well, now, how do we manage the finances? And if someone doesn't have documentation to support them and state their wishes, then we have to utilize the oversight of the probate court. Now, we have a very competent probate court here that takes very seriously their role in protecting senior citizens and disabled persons, which is wonderful. But I'm a very private person, and I don't want to invoke the courts. I want the people that I trust to not have to go through the hassle of it. And those kinds of things are easily avoided with some of the most important documents that we think of, which are financial powers of attorney and healthcare powers of attorney, which in my estimation are even more important than a will.
Yeah.
Because, a will, says where your money goes when you're gone, and that's fine, but isn't it more important to make sure that you're taken care of and your loved ones are taken care of while they're alive?
Yeah, and you know what? I think you're exactly right about that. And it can be confusing to people. If you try to sit down and figure things out on your own, it may be a little daunting to understand exactly the questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, there's a significant education component related to this. I mean, there are services that are available, LegalZoom and things like that, and they can put together documents, and really their documents aren't that bad. However, they don't have any context. Right? They're not going to be able to discuss with you what's it look like if you end up in a long-term care facility. What's it look, how does my family member exercise this to deal with the banks? What are the consequences of a document called a living will, which states how you want to be treated at the very end of life? A lot of us don't want to be kept on machines, if we're at the very end, and we have to have that declared ahead of time.
All right, we're going to take our first break right now. When we come back, we'll talk more about identifying the care needs and some points of estate planning, all of that, as we talk with Tim Moore with Bixler Moore Estate Planning. Some very important information coming your way. So make sure you stay tuned to News Talk 1480 WHBC.
It's Kenny and JT.
And he just got thrown out. Tito and Culpa are nose to nose. They are screaming at each other.
Was that the most riled up that you've ever seen, Terry Francona?
I said, Tito, the great news is if you have an exit physical with the clinic, you don't have to do the stress test. You've already passed it. So.
It's the Kenny and JT Show. Weekdays between 3 and 7 on WHBC.
Hello, my name is PJ Chavez, and I'm the Director of Mission and Ministry at the Cleveland Clinic Mercy Hospital. I believe that healthcare and even just learning about different health needs when it comes to heart care, when it comes to diabetes, dental care, starts with education. So we're focusing on programs, particularly outreach. We want to get out into the community and try and teach people as much as possible. If anybody is interested in getting involved in any way, give me a call, 330-489-1094. Cleveland Clinic Mercy Hospital.
A 75-year-old may bristle at being described as elderly, just as Mick Jagger or Paul McCartney might bristle. But taking care of long-term planning, asset protection, healthcare powers, Medicare, and end-of-life matters are extremely important issues that need your attention now, as opposed to when you are facing a crisis. The estate attorneys of Bixler Moore specialize in elder law, trusted, respected, and up-to-date on the laws protecting you and your assets. For a consultation, contact theestateattorneys.com.
Bolton Drugs and Medicap Pharmacy know that getting your prescriptions should be fast and easy. After all, your time is valuable and we respect that. For your convenience, we offer drive-through windows and delivery service in both the Canton and Massillon areas. We are your hometown pharmacies with excellent personal customer service. Stop in and see for yourself at Bolton Drugs in Canton or Medicap Pharmacy in Massillon, where you won't wait long for your prescriptions.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy inherited properties, vacant homes, rentals, commercial properties, and apartment buildings. Give us a call today and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Time to hit the open road this summer in the vehicle you want at the rate you deserve, courtesy of Friends and Family Credit Union. Whether your ride is a car, truck, or motorcycle, new or used, Friends and Family will make the ride of your choice a reality. Stop in and talk to our local friendly loan professionals. Check out our outstanding rates with no payments for 90 days. And if you need to lose the weight of a heavy rate from another financial institution, simply refinance at FFCU. Friends and Family Credit Union has 3 convenient locations to serve you, including our newest location inside the Acme Fresh Market on Whipple Avenue in Canton. Online and in the palm of your hand with mobile banking. Additional restrictions may apply. All rates and promotions are subject to change without notice. This institution is privately insured by ASI. You deserve to hit the open road this summer in the vehicle you want at the rate you deserve and no payment for 90 days. Courtesy of Friends and Family Credit Union. It's time to bring a friend into the family.
Mark your calendar for this Friday. It's a great opportunity to learn all about pre-need planning with the Canton Cemetery Association. I know sometimes it's hard to think about that stuff, let alone talk about it, but that's why this seminar is the perfect place to find out more. Get all your questions answered. A light lunch will be served, and it's being held at the McKinley Museum. You can take a tour afterwards. This Friday, the 16th at 12:30 in the afternoon. Sign up by calling 330-494-0641. Seating is limited. Call today.
Okay, guys, we got to put our trays up for takeoff.
Where's Dad?
Oh, he's in the back. We could only get 3 seats together.
Daddy has my pillow.
We'll get it later. Can you not put your feet up, please?
Why aren't we going?
We must be in line for takeoff.
Like security?
Well, that was a different line.
I have to go.
We just sat down.
But I have to go.
The seatbelt sign's on.
Why aren't we moving?
Hey, no kicking.
We're just 15th in line for takeoff.
Son of a...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And again, welcome back to News Talk 1480 WHBC Spotlight. I'm Pam Cook with you this morning. We are live on Facebook right now, also live on our YouTube channel, so you can check us out there as well. And we've been talking with Tim Moore, Bixler Moore Estate Planning. And Tim, I want to start talking a little bit about life care planning and elder care planning. Maybe explain that a little bit.
Sure. So I do a lot of estate planning, what we talked about in the first segment. You know, we help people get their documents together, wills, trusts, powers of attorney, those kinds of things. However, what I'm very passionate about is helping people take care of their loved ones, right? We all have or do have parents, and that they're, they took care of us. They raised us. They gave us the opportunities that they gave us. And we are who we are as a result of them. And I know for myself, I have amazing parents. And, how am I going to help them walk through this process? And most people have no idea where to start, right? What do I do to help my mom? She can't do what she used to. She needs help around the house with cleaning, meal prep, or sometimes becomes, a little more unsafe. What if they get their medications wrong? What if we're facing a fall? And then even progressed even further is, there's a healthcare crisis, right? We have a fall or a pneumonia stay that ends in acute issue that ends us in the hospital and then to a rehabilitation center and sometimes, a facility to take, to care for them. We help people walk through that process, preferably at the beginning when a loved one starts to get sick, because like anything, it's so much more important to manage, whether it's your finances or I'm putting gutters on my house this week. If I don't maintain it, we're going to have a major crisis on the horizon. And that's what we're trying to avoid, having people manage their care, because ultimately most of us want to stay in our homes. And so what we like to do when we get a client in that's got a senior citizen, that's a parent, and they're starting to move down this, we call it the elder care continuum. We actually like to not start with the documents or the finances. I need to know where they are at on our care spectrum. And once we know that, then and understand their values, then we can reverse engineer the finances, and we can look at government benefit programs to meet their goals of staying safe and staying healthy. So it's so much more rewarding than just putting together documents. I get to meet and work with so many wonderful people that come in to put together documents, but to help someone take care of their mom, that's the stuff that gets donuts dropped off at the office.
Yeah, I was going to say, people are eternally thankful, I'm sure, something like that. What would you say is the biggest concern or question maybe that you get from folks who come in to see you? What are they asking you about?
Sure. So a big piece of this is they're worried about, am I going to lose everything to the nursing home? right? This is the big thing. I can't, what the real question is I can't take care of myself. But then the manifestation of that, nobody wants to admit that. So they say, oh, well, I'm worried about losing everything in the nursing home. And years back, there were terrible rules related to the Medicaid program. And you would hear stories of little old ladies being put out on the street and getting kicked out of their homes as a result of the long-term care needs of their spouse. We rewrote those rules over the last 25 years to make much more of a social safety net for senior citizens. And that's part of what we do is we help people navigate those long-term care, government programs such as Medicaid and VA and secure benefits to help them pay for care as they age. But yeah, everybody's worried about losing everything to the nursing home. And what we tell them over and over is, it's not too late to plan. It's almost never too late to plan.
When you said talking about their spouse, I never even gave that a thought. I'm thinking of, somebody my age with a mom who's 87, or, somebody who, or a person themselves wants to plan ahead for themselves. But gosh, you could be an elderly person whose spouse then you have to try and take care of.
Yeah, and it can be kind of sad. So, they try to do it. Most of my clients who are senior citizens are very proud people. They are hardworking. They were independent. They cared for the people that were around them, and they don't want to rely on anybody, and they just want to take care of their own. Well, the problem that we have is as we progress down the elder care continuum, if it's another senior citizen taking care of a very unhealthy person, they tend to start going downhill themselves.
Yeah.
And we saw this in my own family. My grandfather was aging and had some weight problems and some other physical and memory issues. And my grandmother was just killing herself taking care of him. And we knew that they needed additional help. Bringing someone into the home just wasn't the best option for them and their values and the way they conduct themselves. So we ended up looking at a long-term care facility for him that was wonderful. I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. He got to the facility and he had a roommate named Pinky. And this guy was a retired professional baseball umpire. And my grandfather was a huge Indians fan. And they just hit it off and they had a wonderful time, this friendship. And my grandmother, what we saw was she began to get healthy herself. And it really prolonged how she could stay in her home and be independent. So, a lot of people aren't willing to admit this. And part of the conversation that we have with people is kind of holding up a mirror to them and to their situation, and not telling them what to do, but helping them reflect on, all right, what's going to be best for you, for your spouse, and for both of them. They got so much healthier, and they could go back to being husband and wife, right? Yeah. They got to go back to, they got out of survival mode on the everyday tasks and staying home to both of them thriving. And when they got together, they had, quality, relationships, with the family and each other. It was really a wonderful move and went much better than most people expect.
Yeah. Everybody thinks of the horror stories. That's what they think of for the most part. We'll talk more. We have to take our next break, but we've got so much more to cover, and we will do that with Tim Moore, Bixler Moore Estate Planning. A lot of great information, folks. And of course, if you if you missed the first part of this, you can always go back to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel and check out the entire interview later on this morning. But we'll take a break for the news, and we will be back on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
When your mom falls and breaks her hip, that's when you wish she had set things in order regarding her care. The estate attorneys of Bixler Moore, trusted attorneys in the burgeoning field of elder law, will customize a plan that empowers your family so you can focus on the things that really matter, like being there for your mom. The estate attorneys of Bixler Moore, empowering families in estate and long-term care planning for over 4 decades. Plan, don't panic at theestateattorneys.com.
Purchase a high-efficiency twin-tank water softener system from Verndale Water Experts and get $250 off the price. A free reverse osmosis drinking water system and no interest financing for up to 24 months.
Verndale's Water Center.
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom. What time of day you eat could affect your mood and mental health. A study found that people who ate both day and night were 26% more likely to experience depression-like moods and 16% more likely to feel anxious. The findings suggest timing meals differently may benefit people who have a disrupted circadian rhythm, the body's natural day-night cycle. And that can be disrupted by everything from shift work to jet lag. Visitation back to normal for all Cleveland Clinic locations, and that'll mean no set visiting hours or limits on how many visitors a patient can have. But visitors must continue to wear a mask, and those who test positive for COVID or are exposed to it have to wait 10 days to visit a patient. And visitors of COVID patients at the hospital must wear a mask, eye protection, a gown, and also gloves. A new USA Today poll shows that Ohioans want to know more about the candidates running for 2 statewide offices. That poll shows 84% of likely Ohio voters say they want the candidates for governor and U.S. Senate to debate. Just 10% said they don't. Governor Mike DeWine has resisted scheduling any debates with his Democratic challenger, Nan Whaley, who has called for the debates to happen. The Senate candidates, J.D. Vance and Tim Ryan, have agreed to debate, but they have not yet scheduled those debates. In sports, the Cleveland Guardians won their 5th in a row last night, defeating the Angels 3-1. They'll play a day game today with LA. 12:35 is the pregame right here on 1480 WHBC. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Some hazy sun today from the distant wildfires. High today 79. Mainly clear tonight, low 55. Partly sunny, nice day tomorrow. A high at 76. And then tomorrow night, clear, low 54. Mostly sunny, nice day on Friday. The high at 81. And then for Saturday, sun and clouds, a warm day. The high on Saturday at 83. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
This Luck of the Irish moment is sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts. The past decade for author and screenwriter Delia Ephron has been tough. She lost both her sister and her husband, and she battled cancer. Now, she feels lucky to be alive.
When something like this happens where everything fits in some way that is just extraordinary, it just makes you wonder about life.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Cleveland area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 5005 Rockside Road, Suite 350, Independence, Ohio 44131. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
It's Sleep Outfitters Upgrade and Save sale with savings up to $500. Upgrade your size and save up to $300 on all Sealy Spring mattresses. Upgrade to an adjustable set and get a $200 instant credit. Or upgrade to Ultimate Support and get up to a $300 instant gift credit with any Stearns & Foster or Tempur-Pedic mattress. Plus, get 0% financing on approved credit and free delivery with qualifying purchase. Get your personal sleep profile today at Sleep Outfitters in Alliance, Belden Village, and Massillon.
Learn about the history and architecture of the Canton Palace Theater on Tuesday, September 20th. The tour of the Canton Palace Theater begins at 7 and lasts 1 hour. Reservations are limited, so make yours today at cantonpalacetheater.org and get the full tour of this hidden gem.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And welcome back to Spotlight on News Talk 1480 WHBC. Pam Cook with you this morning, and we've been chatting with Tim Moore, Bixler Moore Estate Planning, and so many things to cover. I feel like we could, Tim, talk for a really long time about all of the information. Let's talk money. Let's talk about the cost of care and paying for care, all of those kinds of things, because when it comes down to brass tacks, people want to do the best thing, but they also have to consider the financial situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Some people feel like, if I end up in a long-term care facility, Medicare will help to pay. These long-term care facilities, they are incredibly difficult to manage and expensive, with the level of care that they have to provide, the staffing. And so a lot of these facilities are $7,000 to $9,000 per month per person. And so for most families, they don't have that kind of income, right? That's overwhelming. And if you're a regular family, you're going to end up going through your savings pretty quick. At least the type of folks that, were my family, steel workers, people from Southern Ohio. And so the question is, how are they going to cover it? Well, I have Medicare. Well, Medicare only covers rehab, right? They'll cover your hospitalization. They'll help pay for prescriptions. If you go to the hospital and you get discharged to a rehabilitation center, they will cover the first 20 days, and then they'll subsidize days 21 to 100. But if you're there and you just can't get healthy enough to go home, you go private pay. And they tell you on a Tuesday that you're going to go private pay on Friday, and we need a check for $8,200. And so, for most families, they write that first check, and then they know that in 30 days, they're going to have to turn around and do the same thing. These are most of my clients are people who've maybe written 5 to 10 checks for $8,000 in their entire life. Yeah. And so what they end up doing is they end up trying to seek government benefits. Again, we have a social safety net here in America to help provide for our senior citizens and disabled persons. And so a lot of people end up looking at the Medicaid program to help pay for care. And that breaks out into a couple different pieces. Medicaid, when they think about it, they generally think of the long-term care, right? I'm in the nursing home, I'm paying this big ticket. But I really want to be clear with people. Medicaid has waiver services for in-home care as well. And this is tremendously underutilized. We have the Area Agency on Aging here in Akron and Canton is called Direction Home. And they are an incredible resource for overextended caregivers who are seeking solutions for providing for their loved ones in the home. We created these programs because, the government said, it would be great if we could keep people in the home and maybe it costs the government a little less money, but it's what people want. So we really encourage people to seek that route. Now, many of my clients have too many assets to get eligible, and what they don't realize is that if there is a spouse that's healthy, we can oftentimes move assets between the two spouses to help them walk through the spend down plan. Many people are familiar with the Medicaid spend down. We walk people through that. So whether it's what we call a crisis, where somebody's already in need of care, or my preference, pre-planning, right? There are options all along the way to get government benefits to help pay for the needed care.
We often talk about, having to make these decisions. And like you were saying, a lot of times people are making these decisions, having to deal with some of the hardest things at a moment when they're dealing with one of the hardest things, and that's their loved one, being, maybe terminally ill even, or, just really facing the fact that they're having a tough time and are going downhill. So like you said, planning ahead, it may be hard to get your mind around that, but that's really, really important.
Yeah. And the type of person that comes into my office is an overextended, our demographic is primarily women between 45 and 65 who are trying to take care of their loved ones. And they are juggling their own families, grandparents, working, all, their own spouses that they're providing for. They're already juggling so much. And now they have this additional burden, and they're loving caregivers who are just grieved by the fact and guilty that they can't better provide for their loved ones, and they need an advocate, to help them understand the process.
So talk about the probate court, because I don't think people really understand what happens with that.
Sure. So the probate court does two different things. Number one, it does guardianships for people who haven't made their wishes known. That's an important, function. But it's easily avoided most of the time with those basic documents. That's the first thing. But the other thing that most people think of is, when you pass away, you transfer the estate. So if I pass away with a bank account in my name or a piece of real estate, and I haven't nominated that it goes to my spouse or my child as transfer on death or payable on death, well, the financial institutions aren't just going to hand that over. They're going to say, go get a court order. And that's what our probate court does. It helps people gather up the assets. That's where you submit your will. It's often a 6 to 9 month process here in Stark County. Most people can't navigate it themselves, so they end up hiring lawyers, and that gets very expensive. So it's lengthy and it's expensive, and it's easily avoided. Any kind of joint assets, anything set up as transfer on death, payable on death, those can all be set up to go directly to your beneficiaries, where they can essentially take death certificates and get the assets re-registered in their names. There are a lot of complications, though. Sometimes that's just an outright distribution of assets. And so we do have a lot of clients whose children aren't ready to inherit, or there's conflict between the children. If I make a transfer on death designation of my house to, I'm one of 5 children. Yeah. If my father made his house transfer on death to me, and all 4 of my siblings, now we all 5 have to agree on selling it. And I love my siblings so much, but yeah. So we have to incorporate that and their spouses. So oftentimes, if you want that centralized management that the probate court provides, and you want to put in contingencies to help a child who may be going through a divorce, have creditor issues, or disabilities, we should talk about special needs children and the importance of providing for them, which is my favorite part of my practice. We may be looking at a trust, right? A trust is just a document that says how my assets are going to be managed during my lifetime and then after I'm gone. How are they divided out? How are they held? Do we need to build in an infrastructure to make people successful?
And again, we are speaking with Tim Moore, Bixler Moore Estate Planning. And Tim, give folks a way to contact you. They're listening. Maybe they want to give you a call afterwards or visit your website. How do they do that?
Yeah. So the easiest thing to do to get in touch with us is to just pick up the phone and call. I have a tremendous team that can walk people through the onboarding process, determine whether or not they're a good candidate to work with us. And then we'll do a brief call, an intake, and then either set you up with a call with one of our attorneys or set up an appointment to come in and discuss the issues and see whether or not they would want to work with us and whether we would want to work with them. We have a pretty serious no jerks rule in the office. Our team's amazing, and we don't subject them to abuse. So we're a little picky sometimes on who we take on.
All right. So bixlermore.com would be the website also that folks could visit too.
Yeah, and we have a lot of great information there about these issues.
All right, we're going to take our final break, and when we come back, we still have a whole list of things we want to cover. Stay tuned for that because so much great information being offered this morning. Bixler Moore Estate Planning, Tim Moore with us this morning on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
There are a lot of steps between conceiving, carrying, and cradling your baby. No matter what stage of motherhood you're in, our team at Cleveland Clinic Mercy Hospital will be there every step of the way. From managing high-risk pregnancies to delivery planning, we provide specialized care for you and your little one. For every care in the world. To learn more or schedule your care, visit clevelandclinic.org/motherhood.
People thought they could get away with it. Public officials breaking the public trust and laughing all the way to the bank.
This is Keith Faber. You can be sure they're not laughing now.
85 corrupt public officials convicted because of Faber's work. But that's not all. Then Faber helped uncover $5 billion in unemployment fraud. Did you hear the one about the guy who went to the state auditor's office to clean things up? It's Keith Faber.
And it's no joke. As your auditor of state, I hold these people accountable. It's serious business. I'm proud we helped convict 85 dishonest public officials. That's because government corruption is like inflation you never see. You pay more and get less.
Keith Faber. Endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Corruption Fighting Keith Faber for State Auditor. Paid for by Friends of Faber.
From your local high school to the Horseshoe to the Dog Pound, football season is back, and fall is the perfect time to celebrate at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Stand face to face with the greatest of all time in our Hall of Fame gallery. Immerse yourself in the sights and sounds of the game in the one-of-a-kind Super Bowl theater, or take a family photo next to the historic Lombardi Trophy. Plan your visit at ProFootballHof.com. In season, off season, it's always football season at the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Right now, get a special BOGO offer from Bosch. Buy a select Bosch 18-volt Bear tool, get a battery free. Shop savings on all of our top pro items. Plus, MVPs earn up to 3 times bonus points on select products. Join today and redeem points for products designed to level up your business. Don't miss MVP's bonus days, happening now at Lowe's. Pricing and offers subject to change at any time. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any, valid through 9/23.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Hey, Chief, we got a damaged RV on its way to the OR.
Well, that sounds like a job for the new head of RV surgery.
Wait, are you promoting me?
Congrats, Martinez.
Doctor, that RV's flatlining.
Well, that sounds like a job for the new head of nursing.
So you're just promoting everyone now?
Yeah, kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure for fast, powerful nighttime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. NyQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use it directly.
And Doug.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, we are back to Spotlight on this Wednesday morning. Pam Cook with you this morning, and we have been talking a lot of different things involved in estate planning and elder care planning, life care planning, as a matter of fact. And Tim Moore from Bixler Moore is with us this morning. And Tim, I also want you to talk a little bit about folks who are not the elderly people who will need your help. There are folks who I know I have a friend who takes care of his sister who has developmental disabilities. And I often wondered what is going to happen to her if something happens to him and things like that. There's planning for that, though, right?
Yeah. So the plan for any family that has a disabled child is that they could outlive that child, which I know that sounds a little horrible because you don't want to, but they are just overwhelmed at the prospect of taking care of a disabled, person in their life. And it's really important, as you have to choose who can help with care, what kind of care we can arrange for the child. But also, many of our special needs, or we call them supplemental needs, children have government benefits through Social Security and Medicaid, and leaving them assets would, number one, cause them to lose their government benefits, but number two, it could endanger them. They could be taken advantage of. There are some wonderful things about having a special needs child. They're usually they don't lose that sense of wonder and kindness that children have. So there's some wonderful things, but it is a little all-consuming. And I don't think people realize the extent to that community, because they are so involved with themselves, and they become survival mode as caregivers. Such an underserved community, and it's so important for them to do planning to protect that child.
And, when we hear things like power of attorney, all of those kinds of things, people often think, well, I have to get power of attorney, and don't even really know what that means. Maybe explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So a power of attorney, and there's two kinds. There's a healthcare power of attorney, and there's a financial power of attorney. It just nominates who can make your decisions if you can't, who can help you. Who do you trust? And so that process working with us is understanding who is trustworthy. And that it's nothing more terrible than when a child or someone who's entrusted with money takes advantage of a senior citizen. So we want to get that planned ahead of time to nominate who can make sure that our bills are paid, who understands our healthcare wishes. Do we want long-term care? Do we want to be kept on machines if something happens and you're terminal, permanently unconscious? For me and most of my loved ones, we don't want to be a burden on it. We want it to be known we're ready to go home at that point. So yeah, those kind of that kind of planning is for nominating who can help you, make it easy on them.
Oftentimes you also hear people say, when you're planning for retirement and things like that, oh, got to get it done while you're young. Is it too late? I mean, is there any point when it's too late to take care of this kind of stuff?
So where it becomes difficult is if someone lacks the capacity to make their own decisions. Like, I can't allow people who are clearly incapacitated to make decisions. So we have to have those documents in place early. The earlier, the better. We can get out ahead of it. But if someone is competent or they have estate planning documents, even after they're in the nursing home, we can do planning. We can protect assets. We can seek government benefits. What a lot of people don't realize is if someone needs long-term care, we can generally protect, and there's some exceptions here, generally protect 50% of the assets for the children, assuming they have powers of attorney that allow it, of course. But we can protect assets and get people government benefits. So it's not too late. Medicaid does have a 5-year look back. A lot of people hear the spend down, they hear the 5-year look back, and they tell me all the time, well, we didn't do planning 5 years ago, so it's too late. Well, it's not if you're using an experienced elder law attorney, and there's really, for my money, there's only 3 firms that do this kind of work competently in Stark County.
All right, very good. Well, again, let's tell folks, because I think just the peace of mind that someone would get sitting down with you is it's just invaluable. And having an older mom, I know that feeling. So it's just definitely a really important thing to do. It's something, honestly, you don't expect. You go along living your life, and then all of a sudden you're going, oh my gosh, I really do need to take care of this, or, make some plans, or understand what my mom wants. Some people don't even know what their, family member wants. But so again, give the information on how folks can get in touch with you.
Yeah, again, picking up the phone and calling is probably the easiest. My team's amazing. Our number's 330-491-2222. Try to make it easy. And start that conversation to see, all right, do I need a lawyer? Do I need to talk to someone? And we can discuss what is probate a little more. What strategies can we put together to avoid probate? How do we protect from losing everything to the nursing home? And how do I secure care? Probably most importantly, how do I secure care for the people I love, to provide them with dignity, to show them that I love them, and to send them off in an empowered way so that they are victorious in the end.
If they're going to come and visit you too, we should tell them where you're located.
Oh yeah, I have 2 offices, one here in Belden Village on Stevens Circle, conveniently located. Everybody seems to have a doctor within 300 or 400 yards of my office. We also have an office in Louisville, really neat office. It was built in 1885, and it became a law office in 1946. And for a while it was, it sits right there on the square. It's pretty cool. It's a nice little historical building that I've renovated. And people really like that office, because some people really hate Belden Village. So they'll go over there, and it's kind of historical and it's neat.
That's great. Well, a lot of wonderful things that we got out there for folks, and I'm sure there's more. People can give you a call. They can visit you or check out the website as well. Bixler Moore and Tim Moore, thank you so much for coming on today.
Pam, thank you so much.